Pop, could you talk about your first the comeback from 18 in the first half, and include in that your five-man substitution in the first quarter? What your intent was there?
Well, to start the game, I mean, you all saw it. I don't remember the stats. We had maybe 8 turnovers in the first quarter. It looked like those 5 guys had been asleep since Tuesday. And so we thought we might as well get 5 different bodies out there and at least start to compete and not be as sloppy as that group looked. For whatever reason, I have no clue. But it was one of the worst starts I've ever seen. So we just made the change and hoped we could sustain the hit, get the guys back in. And, it was a real test of their character to continue to pound and pound and pound. And that's what happened. Really proud of their, not really their effort so much, but their ability to mentally hang in and stick with each other and continue to play.
Mark Spears, Yahoo Sports. Coach, you just talk about Tim and what he's able to do in overtime to help get you guys over the hump and just his overall game.
He was huge the other night, in overtime and got it done for us. And he did it again tonight. That's why he is, considered as great as he has for the last 17 years. He's been unbelievable. And he feels a responsibility to carry us in those kinds of times. And he did it again tonight. I don't know what else to say. He was fantastic.
Obviously, you need another win, but what would it mean for him to get back to the finals, especially?
We got the game 4 is Monday night. There's no past, there's no future. There's only game 4, just like there was game 1, game 2, game 3, and now game 4 is all that exists for us.
Mike Monroe, San Antonio Express News again, Pop. When you got into the overtime, do you think the experience you've had in the overtime this playoff season, this is your 5th overtime period, 4th game, your guys have a sense of what they need to do in an overtime period that helps them a little bit?
I hope they do, because I don't. I mean, you don't plan what's going to happen in a game. You try, you strategize, but you don't really know what's going to happen in those situations. I mean, these two teams are evenly matched, and they're both hard-working teams, and you wouldn't assume that you're going to jump out, to an 8-9 point lead in overtime. That's just not something that you can strategize or plan on.
Coach Jonathan C. Smith, 730 Yahoo Sports. When the Grizz were up by as many as 18 points in the first quarter during the timeout break, what did you tell your guys during that timeout?
The first half I was grandfatherly, and in the second half. What word can I say? I was ugly, because I wasn't going to watch it again. So, maybe I helped them get through, stick together in the first half, but in the second half they didn't need that again. They needed to get nasty and ugly and angry, and so that's what I tried to make them.
Coach Jeff Kaplan, NBA.com. Manu's game tonight, were his rebounds as big as the points that he scored for you guys?
That's a great point. He's been doing that the whole playoff. He hasn't been shooting the ball well, but he's such a competitor. He knows that there are other things he can do in the game. He's had some games where he's had a lot of assists, and he's been hitting the board a lot. And you see him in there, fighting with Zach, trying to get the boards. Because, the bigs can't do it by themselves with a guy that's as good on the board as he is. So Manu's board and overall basketball knowledge and play are really important to us, even if he's not shooting it well.
Coach, you talk about how Splitter and Duncan have evolved together. Tim had said he feels a lot more comfortable with him now, but what's the difference from now and a year ago?
Well, Tiago's, been starting basically the whole season, so I think they've gotten time together the way Tim and Fabrizio Oberto had time together for a few years. So Tiago's been hurt quite a bit in his first couple of years here, but this year he's been healthy, and they've read each other, position-wise and how to work with each other. Timmy's going to look to shoot more jump shots than in his previous part of his career, and Tiago's a great roller, So they work well together in that way.
Coach, real
Yes.
quick again. You guys have put so much scoring around the big three these last couple of years, but when you see the stat sheet like tonight, I mean, does it ever surprise you, what these guys can continue to do this far down the road?
You mean Parker and Ginobili and Duncan, you mean? No, it doesn't surprise me. They're competitors. I mean, they've been playing together for quite a while, and what I saw tonight is what I've seen many times from those three guys. Even if somebody isn't playing well, they're going to stick with it and support each other, and they did tonight. Thank you.
Mike Monroe, San Antonio Express News. Manu, can you talk about what this game meant in terms of, in light of last year's Western Conference Finals and also being down 18 and forgive the expression, grinding through a comeback?
One of the best wins I've witnessed, being a Spur. It really looked ugly in the first quarter. They were really inspired all over us. We were down 18, as you said, and it wasn't looking good. But we calmed down. We started to do what we do. We started to take care of the ball better, and things started to change. And once we came to the locker room at halftime, down 3, I think we were 4. We knew we were in a great situation, and we ended up well, great overtime, and we won a very tough game.
And in the context of last year's conference finals?
Of course, it was hard to lose last year after being up 2-0, but it can be. It's not that we play alone. We got an opponent that is talented, that is good. It can happen. But in every series, not only last year's conference finals, it's huge to win on the road. And we did today in a very tough place. So we are very excited. We are going to really enjoy it tonight or probably till tomorrow noon. And then we just got to focus again and try to get the 4th.
Manu, what does it say about this team, this specific team, that you're able to win Game 1 when you control the whole way, Game 2 they come back and you close them out, Game 3 you come back and then close them out, the versatility to be able to pull off those different kind of situations?
Yeah, very, very different wins, different type of games. And as you said, it says a lot about who we are and how we're doing now. We are in a great situation. We won, as I said before, a really difficult game. And we are very proud of what we just done. But in 12 hours it's over, and we got to start preparing and getting ready and rest for the next one. Every opportunity you have to close a series, you got to take it, and you got to try to play your best game. And I do believe that we can do much better than today. As I said before, we turned the ball over almost 20 times. We gave them almost 20 offensive rebounds. So we can do better, and we're going to be looking forward to do it.
Manu, Jeff Kaplan, NBA.com. You were having a great game, and then you missed that late jumper, and you went back to the bench, and it looked like you were extremely upset with yourself. I was just wondering, did you feel like that shot was going down? And then the second part of the question is, do you get tired of hearing how old you guys are, the big three?
Yes, of course I was upset because I made a very similar one a few minutes before, and I thought I had a good opportunity to almost close the game, and I missed it. So, I was upset. And especially because they had the last possession. They had 20 seconds to win it, and it could have been painful to lose like that. Regarding the second part of the question, yeah, it gets old. We've been old for probably 8 years now. I remember in 2007, our last championship, they were saying that we were old. And it's all right. I guess we are. But we play well, we play together, and every year we are out there contending. and that's a great thing. That we're doing a great thing. He was already starting to fall a little bit. You could see a little.
Manu, Teresa Walker, Associated Press. Can you talk about how much does the experience with this group in so many tight situations, pressure, big games, compared to the Grizzlies? You know, this is their first time hosting a final on their home court. Could you tell maybe that you were able to take a little bit of advantage of that down the stretch, especially in overtime?
I'm not sure it was a matter of experience. They are a seasoned team, and even if they never made it to the conference finals, they beat the Thunder. They beat the Clippers. That is a tough team. They beat us before, and it was almost the same core of players. So they are a good team. They know how to play. They play hard, tough, and they do a good job. I mean, we are very lucky to be 3-0. I mean, I really didn't expect to be in this situation now, and I really don't feel now that we're 3-0. In my head, it's hard to believe it. So we just gotta forget about what we've done and look ahead.
Manu, on the two backdoor cuts that you got on Pondexter on consecutive possessions, I think the second one he fouled out. Did you just see something there that you were able to exploit to get free?
No, it was Pop's call. Plays that we have. He drew it, and we just executed. And because of the way they deny and they are so aggressive, the situations were there. But it was all Pop. It was not my read.
Duncan scored, I think, the first 5 points in overtime tonight, kind of took control in Game 2 in overtime. Are you seeing him trying to make sure and get you all over the hump in these overtime games to help you get the wins?
He did, as you said, really well in both overtimes. But it's not that he's trying to take over. We are taking what the game gives us. And he just, took a good jumper, a penetration. What he tried to do the whole game is just, it happened in overtime. So it's not that we are, really looking to pound it with him or to feed him, and so he plays like that in overtime. We take what the game gives us, and he made those, 5 points in a row, and that really helped us.